Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 6 of ASSCA. We're here at Daytona, ready to do some testing around this 2.5 mile super speedway to begin the season. It's still technically the off season, but you know, doesn't matter. There are 81 different drivers looking to get some experience, get some knowledge, or just feel how their new team is. And you see there's already cars getting out on the racetrack ready to get after it. We are underway for a 45-minute practice session here, test session. And it's beginning. Now, I will say it right now, silly season changes and stuff like that will go over during the actual full practice that we will have pretty soon. We'll get to that at the end of this session. Now, with the ticker as well, we can't track 81 different drivers, so obviously that will also be at the end of this session to see where everyone ranks out. Now, obviously drivers are going to be in different cars during this session. Like, there's going to be two drivers in this 20, empty pockets, and then Franklin Fenway, Jefferson Washington the third. Right, there's some part-time drivers, some obviously full-time drivers, there's some regional series drivers that are just looking to get some experience here. That is awful. That's the 56, that's the Demon of Oil. That car is atrocious. That car is atrocious. Let me just say it right now. But that's what we're going to see. Some cars are going to be blank, some cars are going to just, you know, be like that. Some cars are going to run their full race paint scheme. That's how it is. The 56, the Demon of Oil, just him for this race, or for this session, should I say. This is mostly how qualifying will play out as well, but qualifying will not be televised here on the channel. But there will be a results page that will be posted on this channel at the conclusion of it, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already. This is the 30 for PM Racing. This is the defending champ right now driving it of Melanoma. He's going to be sharing it with his two part-time teammates of Hoffrick and Gregory Poopsicle. It's most likely that Melanoma will be getting majority of this session to feel out his new team. This is Nick Sanchez in the 07. He'll be sharing the car with Small Medium Fat today. Then you've got Pip Puddlequack in the 10 for his own team. He'll be sharing this car with Aunt Tim. And as cars pull down pit road, they're doing driver changes and stuff. We won't see it all, so I apologize if we miss somebody getting in the car or not. There's a 24. This is Chug a Beer, first new sign-up we're seeing on the track. Next to Xbox 360, a new look there. The Xbox 360 Best Buy number 36. That's Thad Moshpit for Tama Motorsports in front. There's a Plot 55 car. This is the 62, so this is the booth car, or what would be the Full Moon Racing car. Now, the team has migrated away from Ford. They are a Toyota team, but they're using Ford cars here for this test session, and this test session only. Everything on these cars for Plot 55 are Toyota, except for the body. So, just something to note there. Good looking car there. That is Anthony on the track right now. This is Brad Oman in the 48 that he owns. This is what his car will look like all season long. GetOmanCoin.org or .com or whatever it is. He's promoting some sort of scam crypto thing, so don't trust this guy. What is that? Hold on. So Klottenheimer went with a bold strategy this time around, and they have elected to put the numbers on the quarter panel for this test session. Aiden Klott will be sharing this car for this test session with Uncle Boobs and Aaron Pressure, two drivers that are not even full-time. So I imagine he'll also get a pretty good hefty amount of this session to himself. Wendy for the fourth in the 18 here. After Buster Guts didn't do a whole lot last season, this team is looking for a bounce back, and she did really good for Lucky Sevens, got them into the playoffs, made it to the championship 6. Looking to do it again here for Go Jibs. There you have the 6. This is Detective Little Mind Pretzel in the car right now. He'll share the car with Pumpkin Stumper Jerry for this test session. Just in front of him is the 8. Dale Bernhardt Jr., Jeffrey Bernhardt, and Big Earn will share this car throughout the session. Pumpkin Stumper Jerry, I believe, is in his 3rd season now of the regional series. Looking for a break. Hasn't been able to get picked up anywhere. That's Riley Gerbert in the 51. The 45 of Ross Chestpain, the 42 Leland Funnyman, and then father-son leading the group, Simikant Standardbitch and Simikant Standardbitch Jr. Now the 79, the defending regional series champ, will be trying to defend his title this season, and then it is likely next season he'll be moving up here full-time. So they're giving him this Daytona test session to just kind of get the hang of things, which I'm not opposed to. As they go by the 12, that is Nia Newman and Secret Agent Randy Beans that'll share that car. There's Brad Oman there. 3rd on the board. How about that for a car that is like this? I'm actually really excited for him because this is a very big opportunity for Brad Oman to pick up a win, pick up some good spots, do some good stuff. We'll see how that goes for the 23. I just saw the 23 pull in, my bad. Here's some cars to look at here. The 82, Bo Jardelozzi, Javaris, and Lamar. To Forma and Humphrey Klott will share this car. Humphrey is in it right now because it takes him decades to get out of the car and into the car. And they're also praying he doesn't shit himself in it, because if he does, this car will not be back out. Or it will just be out there with Humphrey. So there is somewhat of an alliance between Alpha Performance Services and Klottenheimer. It's really hard to tell. They're a Chevy team in the regional series, or a Toyota team here. It's a mess. I'm going to just say it here. But a former teammate to that 82, this is aggressive. He drove the 28 last season, didn't do a whole lot with it, and he was let go by Klottenheimer in the offseason. He's now with a brand new startup team of Cyclone Motorsports. This is what the car will look like all season long. I'm excited to see what they can do. There's Tony Baloney in the 0. She'll be part-time in the 0, and she's by herself in this 0 for this session. Remember, 5 Pins Racing was bought out by 8 Ball Motorsports and rebranded. We never saw this 0 last season, and it was a full-time car, by the way. I believe it was Victor E. Lane that was supposed to be driving it all season. He made an attempt to qualify each race, and I think we only saw him at Avis, and it was a very brief amount of time that we saw him there. It was honestly tragic, and that's why 5 Pins Racing is a little bit gone, should we say. Nephew Motorsports right now has the top of the board, lapping better than a 44.55. Really good lap time there. They're on pit road doing a driver change already. Leland Funnyman is going to be out of the car, and they're going to put Cup of Joe in there now. This is Ketch Fensted's job in the 55, who's going to be making the start for the 55 at Daytona. Corey Crime in the 11. Very weird to see him in a car without the Tricon 11 font or the Safe Light colors on it. But don't worry, that will still be around for this season. Corey Crime will have to share the car with Mick and Rory for this session. We're hearing Pip Puddlequack has came in and Aunt Tim is now in the car. And we're seeing Anthony has come in the 62, I believe, is what we're hearing. I don't really know. We don't really know who's in that car at this point. But we know right now it is Matt. Matt is currently driving the 62. We watched him get in from the booth. But who got in at the start, I have no idea. I'm hearing it was Anthony, so I'm going to go with that. But then again, people can get out and come back in anyway, so... There was a driver change, though. This is Dog Barks, who's going to be sharing the car for this session with teammate Mr. Left Sides, rival to Mr. Right Sides, who just got drafted into the Goodies Trash Series. Oh, and we've got a crash, our first crash of the season. Oh, and Dog Barks gets caught up. And Van Als Greg. And a brutal start to Aunt Tim's season already. That car has got some solid damage on it. Not what you want to have starting the season with a small team like this. I asked Pip Puddlequack a bit ago, I was like, what is your thoughts on running this many cars, right? You've got the 9, the 10, and the 11. You've got the 01 occasionally. You've got the 12 occasionally. And he said that it's rough because he also, remember, has the 10, 11, and 12 in the regional series. And he drives the 10 full-time in the regional series. Tatu Makoga is going to drive the 12 full-time on the regional series. I don't remember who's going to be in the 11 for them. But, you know, it's a lot for a small team like this to run this many full-time cars and this many part-time cars in 2 different series, and the 10 is headed to the garage, so not what we wanted to see to start out the 10's season here. Van Als Greg is in to repair some damage. That's not Van Als Greg, actually. My apologies. Hubba Bubba Wallace is in the 35. Van Als Greg said he doesn't need the test session, which I don't blame him. He did do a tire test to make sure he was alright after the Monza wreck in the off-season, so... There's SpongeBob in the 4. Draft Auto Garage. Nice to see them still out here. You might notice that there are different banners on the spoiler and windshield of the cars here. The ASSCA banner is here now. And you might notice some different tickers as well, or some tickers that are missing. But we still see the W Energy ticker there. Good to have them on board. Alzhammer is right now in the 68. He usually qualifies for all the big races, and he didn't make it into Daytona, and he was upset. And then, of course, he was in Talladega. Big crash took him out. He said he wants to take that 69 to a few more races before he calls it quits, and we've got another car that might have had an issue. Corey Knight looks to be off the pace. The 10's coming back out. I don't know if they've grabbed another car or if they fixed this car, but the 10 is back out, and it is Aunt Tim again, so let's hope that they get it right this time. Now, who else is out here? There's Xbox 360, Hayden Klott. The 18's coming back in. Now, what's weird is that there's no drivers that are sharing this car, so very interesting. There you got Masturbation in the 22. Remember, he's sharing with Franklin Fenway, Jefferson Washington III. I might have misspoke and said that Empty Pockets was sharing with him. It's actually Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico he's sharing with. So my apologies on that one if I did say that. Corey Knight coming in. So is Mr. Sweaty Beast for the 23. Ariana Grenade in the 38 now. We are hearing that Stacy is pulled in. Chug a beer. in the 24. He's sharing this car with Pete Nutbutter. They're supposed to be coming in any time now, apparently. Crispy Bacon in the 94. Let me tell you, this team, this family has gone through a lot the last few seasons. Every off-season, the bus incident continues to claim some of their family members, and luckily it didn't claim one of the drivers in this car. Crispy Bacon. This team has gone through a lot, and you know, before we were televised and before like all the bus incidents happened, the Crispy Bacon that was originally in the bus incident was the driver of this car, and he was really good. There were a few Crispy Bacon cars. They were a 4-car team. They were kind of like Nephew Motorsports level performance-wise. But then, of course, the bus incident happened, and things lead to another, and you know, it can get distracting. And they've just been a part-time team now, just trying to get by. Had a very scary wreck at Ricky. I was kind of scared for them there. But it's good to see that, you know, he's able to come here and still race. And thankfully, he was not in the bus crash. But unfortunately, some of his family members were, as usual. At this point, they're trying to figure out how to fix something like that. We have another big accident here. This one looks way worse. The sickly dying man is involved. But he is rolling the car. Let's take a look at what happened here. We're going to take a quick live look. This does not look very good. So let's take a look at what happened here. To the 8, the 31. Cyber Zed gets involved. Oh, and huge wreck for the sickly dying man. Goodness me. That was the type of wreck he told me would kill him, by the way. Goodness. So we look live now at the sickly dying man, who is clearly still alive enough to drive the car back, even though it just hit the catch fence quite a few times. We're still green, I might add. Big Earn was in the 8 at the time of that incident. There's the Alpha Performance Services number 24. Ariana Grenade. Now, we're hearing that it is Kyle now in the 62. Corey Knight back out there. This is Generic Jones in the 70, going into his second full-time season in TOECAR, the Goodies Trash Series, running a pretty cool W Energy Vaporwave car for Star Motorsports. How about this? Star Motorsports is in TOECAR. They've made the jump. They're fielding Generic Jones full-time next season. Is it going to distract their efforts here? I personally don't think so. But we'll find out as they power by Brad Oman. See, and I count on Generic Jones here. I think he's going to move this 70 up from 38th on the board. Now, obviously, individual drivers are going to be in certain spots. So, it's going to be hard to track where a current driver actually is. But overall right now, like, I can confirm this. First overall, probably not even on the track. Why would he be, you know? Unless I went by, which is... The sickly dying man just came back on the racetrack. That is insane. Like, that's actually, like, crazy to me. So did Big Earn, though. So, you know, I think there's some backup cars involved, maybe. This is the overall leader right now. This is blue-collared Austin Hillbilly. We saw him 2 races last season in relief for Leland Funnyman, and both times were awful. Like terrible races that he put together. But he's here now. Obviously, without drafting help, he's going to be a little bit slow, but he has the fastest overall lap right now of all 81 drivers. Right now, last overall is Anthony, who has a 46 flat. So very off the pace compared to everyone else. Ant Tim pulling back in again. Pit Puddle Quack likely going to drive that car again. These two have tandemed the whole way. Remember, Nick Sanchez and Small Medium Fat are sharing the 07. This is Alzheimer right now in the 68. Ricky Tikki Bobby Wobbin should be getting in it at any time, from what I've heard. So that is not the sickly dying man anymore. Mr. Penis is in the 31 now. Sorry, the sickly dying man isn't even in this. That was Devontae Buttpoop, the regional series driver for Supernova Motorsports in the 19. That was in that last accident. I asked him about the test session. He said he was doing it. I don't know what happened. But yeah, that is not the sickly dying man. So this is Mr. Penis right now. You know, he did pretty good. I'm not going to lie. When he was at Atlanta, like, yeah, there was a wreck or two he was involved in, but, like, I think he did pretty well. As we continue to look through the field, is anyone going to be able, as the 74's engine goes kaboom, is anyone going to be able to top the time of Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly in this test session? I'm not sure. A reminder that full practice will be coming a couple weeks from now. SpongeBob in the 4. Could you imagine if that car won the Avis race and then SpongeBob locked his way in to the Championship 6? Daytona practice is June 24th, Wednesday, June 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Followed by June 25th and 26th with the Goodies Trash Series and the Splint Cup Series practices as well on the Twisted Toe YouTube channel. And in case anyone missed, the 13 car, which is the second car of my team, Project 31, that car is up for grabs next season to the Color War winner. And the Color War is going to have a lot more importance this year. You get a full-time ride next season, but you also get the crown jewel seat this season. It is a very big opportunity. And hell, last season's winner of this race is right there. Hubba Bubba Wallace won the Color War last season, and here he is testing a Van Alsgreg Motorsports car. I talked to get it? I talked to Van Alsgreg a little bit ago, and I asked him about the wreck at Monza and, you know, like, how he was going to get through it, how he was going to persevere to this season, and he strictly just said, I'm not exactly 1,000% sure. You know, I'm going to take it one race at a time. He said he wants to make sure that he knows that whatever race he runs, if it's his last, that he puts his all into it, and that's really all that matters to him. And I said, kudos to you, as you see two drivers coming in here. Cheese Toes is going to get in the 45, and I believe Secret Agent Randy Beans is about to get in to the 12. Roland Campaign was about to get into the 13 car. So Javaris and Lamar has just gotten into the 82 a couple minutes ago. And he's out here now lapping some times. We'd also like to congratulate Michael Wave on getting the promotion into the TOECAR Goodies Trash Series. Huge for them. That is huge. But, you know, I knew Michael Wave was going to be good enough to get there. Corey Crime is up there as well to Forma. That's the end goal for all these guys, you know. Got some smoke again. Someone might have had an incident. As the 70 comes in, this is Generic Jones coming in to let, I'm afraid you might be in a gang. Take a shot at it. Now, he didn't really get into a good group, and that's why qualifying is going to be important. You need to have a really good group with you when you make the effort. Now, you see Humphrey has made no effort in this 82 car, 45.02. Javaris and Lamar has not had a very good line of cars, so he's not been able to really get anything of importance. You see what he's dealing with. He's lapping right now behind 42nd on the grid. The Turbo Motorsports cars, or Turbo Racing cars, my bad. The 97 and 79 are both in the top 10. See, this is, in a way, an incredible way to measure how capable your team is. But of course, if you're by yourself, like for example the 82, we know the 82 is a really good car, right? It's a Klottenheimer car, it's going to be good. But we're just not seeing them in the draft. So we're not going to see what they can actually do, if that makes any sense. Supernova Motorsports, 32nd on the grid for their first race. Cyclone Motorsports, 37th on the grid. For their first minutes on the track. I'd like to see where Alpha Performance Services racks up against everyone here. But Crispy Bacon Garage is in second place on the scoreboard. How about that? Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly, though, he had an incredible lap. I don't know if we're going to see anybody past that. And he's in that car by himself. I don't know if he's still on the track, but I know that, yeah, he's still on the track. He's just lapping, like, just constantly. But see, we knew he was good here. We knew he was going to be good here. His time in the 42 last season was just unfortunate, in my opinion. You know, he didn't really have the right chances, if that makes any sense. I don't know why that ticker says Michigan. Just ignore it, dude. I can't be bothered. There's Leland Funnyman, who is currently 5th on the board. It sounds like they are going to try and get somebody else into this car, and it sounds like they are looking at, it's going to be Chippy Ahoy this time around. Riley Gerbert on track. Reese Ware for Ware Racing will be full-time in the regional series, which will be right here on the ASSCA channel as well. So drop a sub if you haven't already, because it's going to be a fun year. I'm really impressed by that 94. Now, I know that the 94, they're usually pretty good at the super speedways. They've got a great package. I'm more interested, I'm hoping to see them, get a couple more cars again. I would love to see them build back up to what they were when we weren't on the air, because when they weren't on the air, they never really won, but they were always, top 10 speed, always in the mix, always in the hunt, always in the fight, just like Nephew Motorsports. Now, last year Nephew Motorsports got a few wins. And Crispy Bacon Garage was always like in that potential as Xbox 360 gets turned into the wall. And I think that was with his teammate of SpongeBob. That's the 23. This is Mr. Sweaty Beast back out. 23 XXL Racing will be celebrating how many pounds Massive Chris lost in a month with Ozempic at 89 with his race number. So the 23, 32, and 89 will be that lineup as we see the 36 come in. Blackjack in the 5 was in that group back there. I'm afraid you might be in a gang just smoked the field. Where is he? Top of the board for the 70. That's not him. What? All these white cars look the same, dude. Star Motorsports just blew blue-collared Austin Hillbilly's time like out of the water, dude. There it is. There is the 70. What a time by I'm afraid you might be in a gang. Wow. What an incredible time he just had there. And he's been hanging back, that's why. He's been hanging behind. The 79 leading this group. 3 wide back here. Somebody's gone way off. That's that's the guy with the bunch of names. Franklin Fenway Jefferson Washington III went off. Five-car group here. 74 way off the pace. What's going on there? They closed up to him way too quick. A lot of cars coming in here. One of them's the 82. Bo Giardolozzi going to come in. Well, not come in. He's going to get in the car. With 11 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. This group being led by the defending champ of Melanoma once again. The 30 currently outside the top 20 in speed. How about the 70 though? That was an incredible lap they put on. The 94 in this group, third on the board. The 36 slow again. That was close. Oh, and the 45. He hung on to that. That was a wreck that didn't happen. Wow. What a run there. That was really cool. That was clean. Cyber Zed, the regular season champ last year, had a terrible points round and just didn't get it, Had the best average finish all year. But he wasn't able to win, wasn't able to get a trophy. Mr. Left Side's there. Oh, Lord. The one's going to pull in with the 12. The 70's coming back out. That's Generic Jones again. Man, this car is cursed. The Demon of Oil getting around the group, held up by the 74. I don't know what's wrong with the 74, but that is concerning. Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico leads this group back here. And then you've got these two up here. Generic Jones once again by himself. Just an unfortunate timing again. But you know what? I think he's gonna come out. I think the 12 could come out in front of him and give him a draft, but I'm not sure. No, he's not. I just heard a noise. Nope, everything looks great. Everything's great. Cyclone Motorsports is the only car that is currently bested worse than a 45 flat. But luckily for him, still worst overall is Anthony. 45-23. The 5 of Blackjack again. I hate the number placement on that car, but who cares? Happy World Peace is in this 55. Harrison Bourbon is going to take over the last few minutes. Now, I'm not sure if he has landed a regional series ride yet, but he's been in the regional series the last 3-4 seasons. As Mr. Left Sides comes in to give Dog Barks one last shot. This isn't qualifying, so it's not like there's really anything on the line. But this is how qualifying will play out. It's basically exactly like this, a time session where you can go out. Usually people try and organize a group, organize a line, try not to lose the draft of each other. Like the times right now, like how they're really, really close, it's going to be closer in qualifying because they won't be trying to pass or do slingshots or practicing things. They'll be very close times, so it's very important that you try and lock yourself in on time because the duels can go any way. They can go crazy, they can go bad, they can go really any direction as we approach 6 minutes left in the session. Bo Giardolozzi in the 82. The only driver that has not gotten in that 82 yet is Taforma, but we're hearing that that will be momentarily false. As the 28, air and pressure right now. Uncle Boobs has put that car into the top 10 on speed. Aiden Clot is in the top 20 on speed, so, you know, as here comes the 82 to give Taforma 5 minutes of some valuable time, as some cars have kind of called it early, liking what they see or, you know, trying to figure it out. Now, I don't know why the sickly dying man told me he was going to be in this testing session when he isn't. Maybe he's just trying to scare me, because let me tell you, if he passes away before the race or during this race, we don't know what we're going to do, because if the car is still drivable, we're sending it out there. But we need to figure out, you know, what's going to be the play if it doesn't work out. And he passes away, and we've got an incident again. The Demon of Oil is sliding towards the inside wall, and he's going to hit it. Just a misjudgment there. They're taking a while on that 82 to get to Forma in. 80 drivers have done a lap. Teforma is the only driver that has not done a lap. Generic Jones, top of the board. 44-36. Goodness. They are taking decades on that 82 car. We'll find out if he's going to even be able to get a lap in. You know what, though? I'm actually, like, very proud of this 94 team. They said that they want to go full, they want to have, like, full time. They want to be back to what they were before we went televised, right? And obviously, even in, like, Season 4, and, you know, in Season 3 even, they weren't as competitive, right? And they didn't have full-time, well, they were full-time up until Season 4, but they weren't as competitive in Season 3, and then, of course, Season 3's draft was the start of a nightmare for this family. So we haven't seen them at full strength, but how about the 70? First car to get into the 4430s. They're changing the tires on the 45 as Teforma is coming out with just over 3 minutes to go. He's going to have a warm-up lap, so he's most likely going to get 2 laps in. We'll see where he comes out in relation to other cars, because it could be a nightmare, because this 82 car has not had a good lap at all yet. Cyclo Motorsports just put their car into the top 20 on speed for the first time. See, this is where the lock-in period comes in. This is going to be great for Teforma. He's going to have a car behind him. He's going to have a slipstream here. This is exactly what he needed. We're going to watch Teforma here in the final moments as a car pulls off. That is the 8 of Big Earn. You see Crispy Bacon pull in, a couple other cars as well. But the 82, this is going to be a good lap because he's going to have the slipstream from the 97, help from the 79, huge help from the 79. We know the Klottenheimer's cars are naturally fast, right? That car is last right now in best time, because it's categorized by best time by driver, right? So on the ticker, the 82 is dead last, right? And Bo Giardolozzi was the one that put it down. And Bo Giardolozzi had no help behind him. He was just towing off a car in front. And you're not going to make good lap time with that. We don't know what Generic Jones's lap looked like to get a 44.36, but it must have been pretty good. Teforma crosses the line with just over 2 minutes to go. He'll probably get a couple more laps. 2 more laps, I think. 2 more laps seems about right. I don't know if anyone can top this 44.36. Teforma's about to have a car behind him. That's the 79 Semikant Standardovich Jr. These two went head-to-head so much in the regional series last year. Oh, we got a big checkup, though, and that's going to stall the 82. He can still get a lap, I feel. It's extremely likely he'll get another lap, but the 74... I don't know what happened to Justin Tallgeier's car, but that thing has been awful. 44.41 for Detective Bluto Mind Pretzel, who puts himself into second overall. Or sorry, third overall. Yeah, the 70's just been on another rail right now. The Demon of Oil sitting at a crisp 39th in the ticker, but well below 50th overall here. Teforma did not get any good laps, and he's going to end this session outside the top 60 in speed. Now, obviously, Daytona is not really a great catalyst for this, right? As this session is going to end up going out of time. And there it is. Red flag is out. Now, cars are going to be allowed to cross the line at the end of this lap. Taforma doing a good job keeping the car clean. I think all the Klottenheimer, well, there's two Klottenheimer cars, but all the drivers did great keeping the car clean. Taforma not able to best anything from what he got there, but still, great run and a great session here today. Testing is complete. Let's take a look at the results. Well, here we are with the test results from Daytona. Generic Jones just absolutely obliterated everyone, but even look at I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang. Both really, really good runs for them. Detective Bluto Mind Pretzel takes the third spot on the list. Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly in fourth. Wendy Forfeit for the fourth. Let's go down and look at some of the notable people we see. Mr. Left Sides with a good run. Hubba Bubba Wallace, top 10 speed. Dog Barks. Pummix Number Jerry, Mr. Penis, Alzheimer, Neck Sanchez as well with a great run. How about Weeze Our Fan? I completely forgot to mention he was in this test session. He was out there for a total of 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And he managed to get it into the top 20 on speed. How about that? Then, of course, you have the two turbo racing cars. Let's go down a little bit further here. As you can see, Riley Gerbert, top 25 on speed. Brad Oman, top 30 on speed. How about that? Aiden Klott, 33rd. Aggressive in 34th spot. Aunt Tim had a rough run here today. 37th on the board. Not terrible, but also not what he was hoping for. Mike is the first Plot 55 car. Yikes. Now ignore the manufacturer list. This is the manufacturer list for the actual race. So, you know, it says Toyota, but they were Fords for this session, but that doesn't really matter. Same thing with the Chug a Beer car. We didn't know which manufacturer they were. They gave us Chevrolet, but they came in at Toyota. So we'll see how that goes as well. It says Chevrolet, but it isn't. If we keep looking down here, Big Earn leads the 8 car. Not what we were hoping to see out of them. I thought they'd be higher. You know, I'm just going to say it right now. I thought they'd be way higher than they were. Hoff Rick with a rough run. Chug a Beer, there it is. You see the 24 there. 44.847, not very good for them either. The Demon of Oil had a rough go at it as well. But there's one car that we haven't seen yet, and we are still looking all the way down, by the way, for this to show up. Taforma, 74th on the speed charts here. Yikes. Lapped just behind Javaris, and Lamar. Not what he was hoping to have here. Bo Giardolozzi led the 82 car anyway, so, you know, it wasn't a very good run for them whatsoever. The 55 also had a very, very brutal run here with three of their 4 drivers just absolutely shitting the bed here. Almost all lapping outside of the 45 mark. Anthony dead last on the charts with a 45.223. Obviously, this doesn't show who's going to be doing the best when the season does arrive, though. But Generic Jones topped the board for the 70. I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang, the top full-time driver in the field. How about that? Thank you all for watching this, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe. Now, we do have the practice session coming up a week and a half from now when this is posted. June 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time here on the ASSCA channel. We would love it if you could tune in. You'll find out about the points format, the silly season changes, all the stuff that's different that we couldn't go over here today. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to this testing session, and we wish you a good night. Thank you for watching. We'll see you June 24th.